Okay, do any of you remember this monstrosity? I made it a couple of years ago now, right when I started doing these videos, and I was trying to make wood out of veneer, which seems ridiculous, but it's layers and layers and layers of veneer all glued together, which was a great idea on my head, but then when it came to the actual making, it really wasn't. It was a complete disaster. So you can see the finish is not great, and not having any kind of sanding tools or anything, it was all hand sanded, which made it less fun, and the cutting is awful. There's no kind of even cuts at all. It was supposed to be a gift for Mum's birthday, but this one stayed in the shed. I may do another one which is just as bad, really. But anyway, so I was intending to make lots and lots of boxes like this, because I still have tons and tons and tons of veneer. But when it came down to it, I made two and thought, that'll do. It's a huge waste of veneer, really, because you can't enjoy the whole of the veneer, it's just the edge. So that's good for jewellery and things where you want that effect, but not so much for a box. But that was what but that was all that I could do at the time, because I didn't have any wood to play with, really. But in the meantime, I have been collecting pallet wood, and sometimes I manage to get all the planks off, sometimes I don't. This one was donated by my uncle, but the problem with this one is this is a support which is about 3.5 centimetres wide, but this one had slats on both sides, so I've got nail holes here and here all the way down, so I need to work in kind of a 1-inch segment, which is not really great for what I'm intending. So these are going to come in handy for something, but not for this project. What I've also got is some pallet wood supports that came from pallet which only had slats on one side, so I've only got one set of nails to work around, and then I've got this nice big bit of wood which is about 3 centimetres wide, which is pretty much there. Okay, so I've done the major bit of kind of deconstructing these thicker panels, or thicker slats. Now I could spend some time and take out the nails, but then I'd lose about more than half of the wood here, really, unless I really wanted something with nail holes in, which I really don't. So these are going to end up going on the scrap heap anyway. But I've managed to get out workable wood from in between. I originally drew out 21 designs, but I had space for a couple more, so I've got 25 now. So I'm going to start working my way through these. Now, something to remember with any kind of scroll sewing, particularly when you get beyond 1/2 inch in thickness, is you cannot rush the machine. You'll end up breaking blades. So you go at the machine's own pace. If it starts to make funny noises, then slow down, stop, rethink, readjust. So, and if you're doing something this big, I suggest using the biggest blade you can. It's less likely to break, it's more likely to kind of stand up to this kind of abuse, really. And a lot of these have got quite tight corners, turns and things and angles, so I'm going to make a lot of relief cuts. That means I'm going to kind of come in from outside and just kind of break up those angles. So it should hopefully reduce the amount of turning I need to do inside the wood, which is kind of a large risk factor for breaking a blade. So yeah, back to time lapse. Okay, so I've been down in the shed for just over an hour and my back is really starting to ache, so I'm going to call it for today. It's only 11:30, so I might be able to get back and do some more in the afternoon, but I've got other projects I need to finish, so I'm going to call it an end, or at least a pause on this. The idea was good, I think, but the production's not been quite so good. I don't know what wood they use for pallets, but it's rock hard. And even with my birthday present, my big sander, I'm not really able to get through this stuff. And there are hours and hours of dremeling and whittling ahead to get this into the shape I want. So I'm going to call that pretty much done for this year at least. So at least at that angle it looks like a suite. This way round, not quite there yet. I need to really round over the top and kind of create some creases, or at least a look of creases, and then sort out the paint job. So I'm going to call that finished, sort of, for now, and then come back to it at some point in the new year. And I've got a stack of 24 more of these ready to go, and that's going to be an interesting time, I think. I think I'll gradually work through these rather than doing them as projects. So yeah, not a great project, and this wood they've clearly picked all the kind of the inner core for the thicker bits, and it's all the kind of middle grain, and both ends here it's cracked. So I've got lots and lots of filling to do, lots and lots of finishing. So that is what I can get to today. Hopefully next year I'll actually finish all 25 of these things. So I'll see you next week.